Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Amagati, your family life coach. I know I say this all the time, but I am your family life coach. I'm here rooting for you. This is parenting in a foreign culture. The purpose of this YouTube channel is to bring people who are parenting in a culture that is different from their own together and providing tips and resources that would help you flourish in a foreign culture. So again, welcome. I noticed we've had a few new subscribers, so I want to say thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Please help spread the word. Let people know that we are doing parenting together. Okay, so today I want to talk to us about sleep. Sleep. I know sleep is it's a hard thing for some people, and it comes very easy for some people as well. I do know that it is not easy at all. So especially when you're trying to get your child to fall into some kind of sleep routine. And so today I want to dedicate this episode of our time together talking about sleep and why it's important that our children have adequate sleep, and why it's important that you have adequate sleep as well. It's interesting because I've talked to a few people lately who have had issues with sleep. Parents, adults who are sleeping just a few hours a night and waking up and not feeling rested. Sleep is important for all of us because it helps in our brain development. It helps us in memorizing new facts. It helps us even with our either being calm or being hyper, right? It's all determined by how much sleep we get. So sleep is important. If I have to reiterate that, I would say it over and over again. Sleep is important, not just for us as parents, but also for our children. Now, I did a little bit of research, and I kind of knew this data a while back, but I wanted to read around and see what researchers and people who have done sleep study are recommending for sleep for our children. So I have a list in front of me, and I'm going to read to you these are suggestions. Okay, so your child might be getting maybe just an average of that recommended amount of sleep, maybe a little more, a little less. As long as you're close to that range of the number of sleep hours, then I think, I'm not an expert, but I think you're good. So here is what some research shows. The first thing is for our children who are newborns, ages 0 to 3 months. And the recommended number of hours of sleep for them is 14 to 17 hours. And then we have infants from 4 months to about 11 months. Recommended sleep is from 12 hours to 15 hours. Then you have toddlers ages 1 through 2. Recommended hours of sleep 11 hours to 14 hours. Preschoolers are from ages 3 to 5 years old. Recommended number of hours of sleep 10 to 13 hours. School age children, which is ages 6 to 13, 9 to 11 hours. Teenagers, ages 14 to 17 years old. Recommended number of hours of sleep 8 to 10 hours. And then when you get into young adults, like ages 18 to 25, recommended number of hours is 7 to 9 hours. Now, I know you're probably hearing me going through these numbers and you're thinking, my goodness, my child is either sleeping way more or way less. One of the things that I have seen parents do, especially because I have friends who are migrant families, parents just like I am, is sometimes I will find myself on a phone call with a friend or somebody, and it's 10, 11 p.m. and you can still hear children in the background. And you're thinking, my goodness, it's a school night. They're going to school the next day. How are they up at 10 p.m. and still waking up by 7 a.m. and going to school and getting adequate amount of sleep? It has happened over and over and over again. And I thinking to myself, are our children getting enough sleep? You know, if we parents are struggling to get enough sleep, are our children getting enough sleep? Now, there are some things that we can do, and I'm going to dedicate the next few minutes talking about some things that we can do to help our children establish good sleep routine. Now, it starts when they are little. I know in my culture, one of the things that we do is when a baby is falling asleep, we put them on their back, we walk them around, and then eventually they fall asleep. They fall asleep for a while, they wake up whenever they wake up, right? And then they hang out on our backs until they fall asleep again. As they get older, one of the things that is recommended for our children, especially the toddlers into the preschool age group, so we're talking anywhere from about, I would say, ages 1 all the way up to about maybe 3 years old. Don't wait for them to fall asleep, let's say in the couch or in the family room or in the living room, and then carry them and put them in the bed. You want to establish some kind of routine for them so they're used to putting themselves to bed, which also helps them build good sleeping habits, right? So in my household, for example, on a school night at 8 p.m., I insist that my children, especially my son who is younger, I insist that they take a shower, brush their teeth, go lie down, read a little bit, and then we have some established routine they need to go through, and then eventually fall asleep. And we start at 8 p.m. because I know it would take a while for him to get in the shower and all of that, but it's a routine. And we do that. Sometimes we go a little late, especially if there's an event and we've been out. So there are exceptions. But on a regular school night when nothing else is going on and we're home early, the requirement is right about 8 o'clock. He's in the shower, he's ready, he's brushed, he's cleaned up, ready for bed, and eventually falls asleep around 9 because we do wake up early and have to go to school the next morning. So a routine like that helps us. And we know, we look at the clock, it's around 8 o'clock, this is what happens. If your children are younger, you may want to start a little earlier for them. So if it's 7 p.m., dinner has been eating, have them wash up, have them get ready, and go to bed. I'm telling you, when your children sleep early, it also frees you up because now you do have time for yourself to do other things that you would like to do. Relax, watch TV, read a good book, whatever it is you like to do. I think that it will help you, give you more time when you put your children to bed early. But you have to establish that routine when they're younger, because then it's a habit they've developed. And so there's a set bedtime and a set rising time. Instead of letting them just linger around, fall asleep, and then you just carry them into the bed. Okay? So sleep is important. Our teenagers especially, I have a teenager too, is where there is a bit of freedom. They're on their phones, they're in their rooms doing their own thing. And so sometimes from the adolescence age up until 17, 18, we realize that our children are not getting enough sleep. I personally cannot function well if I have not gotten at least 6-7 hours of sleep. That is just me. I love my sleep. I need a certain number of hours of sleep for me to function, right? And so can you imagine our children, especially for those of us in the Western world, in the Americas, and also in Europe and places like that, raising children. High school or secondary school is tough. It's a lot more work than maybe our time when we were growing up. Our children are stressed more. There is extracurricular activities. There's all these other things they're involved in. So they do need the sleep, and it's important. You as a parent can guide them to make sure that they're getting the adequate sleep that they need. And so I'm hoping that maybe after today, after you've watched this episode, that you will encourage your children to go to sleep on time, but you have to enforce that rule. Now, if that rule is not already in place in your household and you have to enforce it, there will be a backlash, right? Because children want to watch TV or they want to do other things. And it's hard to pull them away to send them to bed early and on time. So one of the things that I have done in my household that has helped me is that we established a no TV rule for our children on weekdays, right? Especially my younger one, we established a no technology, no TV rule. They come home, do their homework, eat, do whatever he needs to do. But then there's no TV because I need that focus for the next school day. So I hope something I've said has helped you and will at least challenge you to establish some kind of routine for your child, because the truth is they do need the routine. They do need good sleep habits, because our world is raising, our world has become a place where technology has taken over. The blue lights from our computers and our phones are affecting our sleep. And so you really, really want to be a little more strict on sleep for your child and encourage them and be that rest coach for them, so that when they grow up, they have good, rest habits, because we all do need a rest. So anyway, encourage your child to sleep. It's good. And they have to start now. I know naps after a while is hard for our children, but if they can get a good night's sleep, they will function better. They will do well academically, because sleep helps with brain development. They would also do well with memory. Even for younger kids, it will help them with their motor skills, right? And so you definitely want to encourage sleep, because there is good benefits for sleep. And whilst you're at it, you lead by example. Please sleep. I take naps when I'm tired. I need 15-minute nap. I will crash and take my quick 15-minute nap and go to bed. So I hope that this helps you. If you've enjoyed this, please like the video, please subscribe, please share, let your friends know we're doing parenting together. Again, I am Amagati. I am your family life coach. I'm rooting for you. Let me know if you have any questions, thoughts, or suggestions. Put them in the comment below. I would love to read them. Thank you again. Take care. Bye.